should be live now. I think I've got everything all set correctly. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. We are normally playing Lost Mines of Phandelver. However, our wonderful DM, Mustang's Art, has just gone to university, and they are very fatigued and recovering some spell slots today. So we are going to still hang out for a while. It's going to be, just a short little Q&A setup deal. Feel free to post any questions you have for us in the chat about our characters on Lost Mines, about our disabilities, our chronic illnesses, our neurodivergent conditions. We're gonna go around and introduce ourselves, just so that everybody can, hear a little bit about us. And if you have any questions, post them away in chat. Why don't we start off with Sophia? Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? A handle we can find you on, any conditions that you care to discuss, if you have like a charity program or something that you would like to promote, please feel free. And, anything that you want to add, feel free.
Yeah, I am Sophia. Which I hope you all know. And I go by @Alsarla on the interwebs everywhere. It's a weirdly spelled name, hard to pronounce, but it's very unique. So why I have it. I also have anxiety and depression, and probably some form of ADD or ADHD. I'm gonna try and get that looked up so I can get help with it. Because damn, I need help with studies and yeah. I lost track. Sorry.
That'll happen.
My charity or thing I want to promote is probably anxiety gaming. They help people find a therapist in your area. Probably best suited for US people, or at least in Northern America. They could not help me here in Sweden though, which was a bummer. But they are good. Check them out.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, because I am not familiar with that charity. What was it called again? Just one more time.
I cannot pronounce it.
That's okay.
Anxiety gaming.
Anxiety gaming.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look up. For sure.
Yeah, sure. Feel free to post a link or something too if you want.
Yeah.
And let's go down then. Aubrey, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello. Welcome to my cave. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hi everybody, my name's Aubrey. I use they or she, but she is fine pronouns. I'm on twitter.com.co.us at twitter.com at Paladin Lesbian. I'm also on Tumblr at Paladin Butch. I mostly use my Twitter though. I retweet smart things that my smart friends say, and also about being gay. I also I'm working on some top secret projects. Secret. Can't say what it is. People who follow me on Twitter already may have seen that I started asking about setting ideas for a Monster of the Week campaign, because I love Monster of the Week and I love running Monster of the Week, and I think it's great. My organization TM of choice is the Autism Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN. If I can at some point during the stream, I'll post the link to their website in the chat. But some people don't know this. Autism Speaks is booty do dookie trash. They aren't good. They don't have a lot of autistic people on their staff, and the ones that are on the staff aren't listened to, really at all. So ASAN is is an organization devoted to like autism, civil advocacy for autistic people run by autistic people, which is really iconic, fun, funky, and fresh. So yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, and then let's scoot to the left with Daria. Introduce yourself and where we can.
That's me. I'm Daria. Some people call me Adoron. You can call me whatever. You can find me on Twitter at ethnic_Darito. I tweet things that my friends and family say, like most recently, discourse about what makes a werewolf and what makes them a furry. I don't have...
These are very important questions.
They really are. And I ask, like, I feel like every week I have a poll about some aspect of me that I'm going to change, but I don't. And you can participate in those. This week it's bangs. Am I getting them? I don't know. I don't have a charity to shout out.
That's
because
fine.
I forgot to look one up like months ago when we talked about that. But I have ADHD, dyslexia, and I use she, her pronouns. And I think that was everything that I could say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we have me. Hello, I am Sam. I go by @Samwise_GameG here on Twitch and on Twitter. I use she, they pronouns. I have ankylosing spondylitis and Crohn's disease, also anxiety, and I am an ostomate, which means I have an ostomy, specifically an ileostomy. If you don't know, this just means that I do not have a large intestine, my colon is gone. And I have a bag on my gut that collects all my stuff. So I'm always willing to answer questions about that because I know that is kind of unusual for a lot of people. At least it's not something you tend to think about until you have one. So please feel free. Again, this is a Q&A, so, you know, feel free to post any questions you might have in chat. I really like to promote the charity, the Able Gamers Foundation, which is a nonprofit that helps disabled gamers to acquire customized, accessible gaming equipment so that they can still play video games and computer games and stuff. I am a big video game player fan, and it's just, you know, that kind of equipment is not covered by insurance and is very expensive. So I like to promote them. I believe they're URL is just ablegamers.org or ablegamerfoundation.org. I'll look it up eventually. Let's see. I guess in case, since normally we are playing our Lost Mines of Phandelver game during this time, I forgot to also have us all tell us about our characters there. So I'll just start. I play Twilla. She is a Earth Genasi Bear Totem Barbarian. Our characters did just hit level 4, I believe.
We are going to, after that, fight with an undead owlbear.
Oh, afterwards? Okay, I wasn't sure if we hit it at the end of that episode or if it was, like, gonna be after that. So we are level 3 then, which means we've all just been able to declare our subclasses if we haven't already. So Twilla has ankylosing spondylitis like me and Crohn's disease, and she has a customized war axe that is bigger than she is. She's also very short like me, and her axe is customized to have like a special grip sort of lower on like the shaft of it that can double as like a cane or a walking staff support for her. And why don't we go in reverse this time? So we'll have Dar take us up, telling us a bit about your character and their conditions.
Leo. I play Feautre, Citadel, a Fearbold?
I say Furbolg, but I hear lots of people say different ways.
Whatever it is. Warlock, whose patron is, I think it's called the Seeker. Like, it was from the Unearthed Arcana. She has a bunch of weird little features that we just haven't done because it hasn't come up, like unfocused spellcasting and her weird spellbook and all of that jazz. She also has ADHD and dyslexia. That's her. I don't know.
No, that's cool. I love it. If you want, you can. I don't know if you have like any sort of mechanics that you have for her or not.
I
Feel
think-
free to sort of talk about how, you've worked that out.
Yeah, the big mechanic that I built her around, and then it occurred to me, like, we just haven't used because it hasn't come up, is her unfocused spell casting, which is if I ever cast a concentration spell, she has disadvantage to keep the concentration, or I have to, like, persuade Mustang on, like, why is she being so focused on this thing, which is probably
That's
not.
pretty awesome.
But yeah.
You have to pass a persuasion check with the DM.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Okay, and then we can keep going around. Aubrey, you want to tell us a bit about Holly Lynn?
Okay, so everybody, so hear me out. So I play this character. You probably know this if you're watching it. Her name is Holly Lynn Goblin's Foe, but she just call her Holly Lynn. She is a gnome paladin. Don't remember her subclass because I kind of haven't looked at her sheet in a little bit, if you will. I don't know what her subclass is. She has autism and chronic pain from just like mystery issues yet undeclared, like me. And she also gets has like chronic fatigue. She's tired easily. One fun little funky mechanic that I have for her character is every day in the morning, I roll a d20 and I have a little table of like how her like brain processing is like affected based on like what I roll. So like for example, if I roll like a 5 or less, she has disadvantage on any wisdom check. Anything. If it's wisdom related, that's not happening.
Just nope.
Or it's just not gonna work. And then I also have it hasn't come up as much because I feel like we haven't done anything like super like physical. But maybe when we get to more exciting adventures, it'll come up when like we're doing something like super like physically intense. I have to like roll a d6, and if it's 3 or less, then my next any athletics checks I make after that are strength related things. Not good because she's in pain. It hasn't come up yet. I'm hoping it doesn't come up yet. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you're like, oh, one day it'll come up, and it's like, but what if it doesn't?
And then the next it hasn't come up yet. The next session it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mustang's gonna listen to this and be like, oh, good idea. That's really cool though. I like hearing what everybody's mechanics are because I don't necessarily know what you're all doing on like your own sides of things about stuff. So this is exciting for me. All right, so let's go up or to my left, right? I don't know if it's flipped on everybody else's
It's
side.
this direction.
To Sophia.
Oh, okay, up here. Okay.
Hi. Safi is their name.
You're doing so good, love.
got
You're
this.
doing so good.
You're all
Thank you.
wonderful.
But yeah, Safi has anxiety and depression like I do. Sorry. They have I'll just double check that I'm not
Not making stuff
lying
up.
about this. Okay, that's gonna be far up. Never mind. Sorry. They have the first time they use a spell that is needs a spell attack roll or a saving throw on someone else. I have disadvantage and they have advantage because or Safi needs like time to figure out how it works, and they don't have the confidence to just do it like perfectly the first time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm also probably gonna add another one because how things ended last time was very stressful, for Safi, so they're gonna have to make a saving throw to not have a panic attack or anxiety attack.
Is that
where
sorry?
If they fail that, then they will just basically be scared of the thing that gives them anxiety, or they will be restrained, maybe,
Or like
because they just
incapacitated or stunned,
incapacitated.
maybe? Okay, cool.
Stunned. Yeah.
How do you have a like a DC chosen for that save, and what kind of save is it? Is that a Wisdom save or Charisma?
Yeah, wisdom. Wisdom.
Fancy.
Maybe should be charisma because that's their lowest stats. But yeah, wisdom save seems.
That makes sense, because that's
Good.
what you do to resist, like, you know, a lot of those kinds of like hold person type spells.
Yeah.
Like fear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fear.
But it's also their highest stat, so it's like maybe I should also have disadvantage on it.
Well,
Maybe.
one caveat to that could be maybe the DC is like really, really high to like avoid getting out of it. Because like for example, like I remember initially when I was like workshopping how like the whole roll a D20 and see how Hollywood's brain is gonna work today. Like when I was first like looking at it, like I was like, okay, yeah, because like for example, her wisdom stat is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh, let's do wisdom. But then I thought about it and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So I originally was thinking about to make the DC check really high. Like then I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot of work. So I just made it a flat 20 wall, and we're like, we'll just see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's cool. So it's just the
Remove
flat.
no adding. Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does Voitra have to make saves? I don't recall if you had mentioned, like, was that something that you had worked out, or?
It's something I'm still working on, trying to figure out, because like how good my brain is at processing things is on a day-to-day basis, and trying to figure out how to make that for her. I'm still figuring out. It's probably going to be some sort of wisdom stave for her. She doesn't have a great wisdom stat.
I think that makes
She
sense.
also, I have reminds me, I have a thing that I haven't been using, which is she has to make a roll to see how well she sleeps throughout the night, because ADHD brain has a very specific time where it likes to work, and that's typically during the night. And it's a D6 roll, and I should write that down somewhere so I remember to do it.
Is the ADHD, like, working better at night thing something personal, or is that something that sort of tends to go along with the condition?
I know it's for... I want to say that I read a study that was like, there's a certain hour between, like, I want to say 12 and 4 where your brain really wants to be active, but it might just be me.
Right. I mean, I'm just curious. It's fine if, like, you also don't know. And I know there's still also always variations within every condition.
I'm pretty sure that, like, a lot of people with ADHD do have trouble staying asleep at night.
That would make sense.
The hours might be, like, whatever, but...
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, all those weirdly timed short rests are very helpful to Voitra's sleep schedule.
That's why she hasn't been rolling for it. That's my
excuse. Yeah, there you go.
Took a lot of naps.
I think that works. Let's see. In addition to Twill's Cane, I do actually also have a table of symptoms that I roll after long rests. Or that maybe I can roll, like, depending on things that happen, like if a constitution save gets triggered, like to resist exhaustion from, like, fast travel or something like that. It's like I roll again, just kind of with the idea being that, like, my symptoms vary so much, like, kind of moment to moment and day to day, so, like, things can trigger things to change, or certain symptoms will, like, go away really quickly. Like, I could wake up one morning and, like, my leg, like, my hip won't really work and I can't walk on it, but then by noon, maybe my leg is fine, but then my Crohn's is acting up and, like, something else is wrong. So, I thought about making it every short rest, but that also felt like it was gonna get, like, too much changing and things to remember and keep track of.
Yeah.
Miss Andress Medusa asked, well, they said that they really love all of our characters. Is there any chance that we would have them show up as NPCs in future campaigns? I would actually really love to see Sarah play us.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I
also,
go ahead.
Oh, but like I also thought, like maybe I misunderstood, but like having us like show up as guests on a stream to play this feautre or
Yeah,
or
maybe.
like here's the thing that I have for you. Cool, I'm peacing out. But also, I do want to see Sarah try to like do all of our characters.
Yes, I just love people playing other people's characters.
I feel like playing Hollywood is really easy. You only have to do two things. Here's the first thing.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
And then if there's food, you have to review the food. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. That's her whole character. Saying hello and
flirt with
critiquing
every
food.
lady.
Yeah, and flirt with ladies. That's
Three
it.
things.
It's so easy. 3 things. Flirt with ladies, critique the food, say hello. That's it. It's so easy. I said she's a perfect NPC. You can play her anywhere.
I love it. I do think we have, we've talked about our characters showing up maybe as guests, or maybe having some, like crossover stuff at some point. We've got a lot of new projects kind of in the works. So, actually, I guess speaking of, we can talk about those a little bit. Because if you're not aware, next Thursday is going to be the premiere of our first Heroes Sheets episode.
Yes.
Is going to be hosted by the amazing Dar. If you'd like to talk a little bit about it, please feel free.
Yeah, Hero Sheets is an interview stream thing where I get to sit down with disabled and chronically ill people, and we talk about D&D and their chronic illness or disability and just hash it out for like an hour. And our first guest is the lovely Sam, and I'm super excited.
That's me.
It's you.
That's me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm super excited. That that talk show is going to take place on about the last Thursday of every month. I'm looking ahead at the calendar, and I know that almost immediately it's going to get a little weird because of like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. But for the most part, last Thursday of the month.
Or maybe second to last Thursday if it's more convenient.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make any changes posted up on Twitter and stuff. So, make sure to follow us on Twitter. It's @HWithoutLimits. Also, you're going to want to make sure you follow us here and tune in on Thursday because we've got 2 dice giveaways going on in the community right now. One of which is we're going to be doing a dice giveaway to one of our viewers live next Thursday during Heroes Sheets. So if you tune in, actually I have them here. I'm right here so you can all see them. If you tune in with us next Thursday, one lucky viewer is going to get these beautiful double helix dice from Tabletop Loots. It's a little hard to see, I guess, but they're like sort of dark and red clear with glitter in them. And I love them, and I'm very tempted to keep them for myself, but I guess I'll give them to one of you, whatever, it's fine. So if you tune in on Heroes Sheets, it's going to be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Thursday the 26th. And if you make sure to follow us here on Twitch, we are also going to be doing a giveaway to one of our Twitch followers after we reach 100 followers. Because we sort of recently relocated from an old channel, and, things get a little wonky. Not everybody always follows through, follows from one channel to another when you have to change an account like that. So we're trying to help everybody find their way back again and encouraging them with some beautiful clickety-clacks. So if you join us here on Twitch, you can get one of these tabletop Bayberry dice, which it's not focusing on to show how pretty
so
it
cute.
is. I really like these too. These are clear, like transparent dice with sort of pink and light green swirls throughout them. They're really pretty. I like them a lot.
Sam, could you fix the thing so that I could have them? And not viewers?
What? No, I would never do that for you. That would be terrible and dishonest.
Good.
Nah. It's going to be done by robots. So, just make your sacrifice to our robot overlords. And
If I do happen to get them through the robots, I will donate them to someone else.
I love it. Let's see, what else do we have coming up? Oh, Sophia, if you would like to talk a little bit about the project that you are working on and that people can now apply for.
Yes. It's going to be a Feywild adventure with some spookums thrown in.
Spookums!
Yes. All the spookums. Because I don't know how to DM without scaring my players.
I think that's
Only
a good
way to.
quality.
I watched too much Chris Perkins and TK Johnson.
Also good.
Oh no, not Chris Perkins and TK Johnson. Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh,
not
no.
only some of the best people ever.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big spooks.
So it's also going to be, or hopefully going to be, a like they do on what's it called? Tales from the Mists.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mist Tales. There are going to be 4 anchor members who are going to play every time, and then every 4 episodes there are going to be 2 guests, so that there will be more people who come and join, so that more people get a chance to play, and that will hopefully also help me keep the story going.
Right,
And
'cause
keep
the guests will be sort of having, like, driving your arc, and I think having kind of their own, like, mini arcs. With
Yeah. Or
Kinda have
it's
tails,
just
though.
gonna make everything harder.
Or it's just gonna make everything harder, because with more people, that means you can throw higher CR things at your
Oh, yeah.
cast. So.
What fun! Let's see here. Morricanus Tome of Foes. No. No.
Yeah, no, just Tarask said everybody.
Oh yeah, that's much easier. Kill everyone. Kill the world. No, but yeah. It's gonna be lots of lights and dark contrasts. It's gonna be fun.
And this
A lot of
is
contrast.
this is I know you're writing the adventure, and it's kind of in like your own homebrew, like Feywild type deal, right? So
Yeah.
what people think they might know about the Feywild may not necessarily be the case here. Is that correct? Or are you keeping even that
Yes.
secrets?
Yeah, it is. It's an idea I've had for a long time, that I've been wanting to make a game out of, either in D&D or in just a video game. Yeah, that takes a lot of time. And I've also tried to write this down as a one-shot twice, but yeah, my mental health just came in the way of writing it all down. So I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna make sure that I have to write it every week instead, because that's easier. That's much easier. But yeah, it's gonna be fun and probably Zelda inspired.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm so stoked for this.
Let me I can post the link for applications for that. Just
Yes.
in case people want to check that out.
Please apply.
Please
But
apply.
also, maybe don't apply, because I also would like to be in it as well. Personally, by me. And there's less applications. Hey, but also, please apply. Sophia's great.
Aw.
She's really cool, and this game is going to be really good. Please apply.
Yes,
Please
it's gonna be great. Applications are going to be open until Thursday, October 3rd at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So try to get your application in by then. You've got, like a week and a half almost to full. And follow our Twitter. We'll be sending out periodic reminders to try to help you remember. But that's really exciting. I am super stoked to see that because that's going to be one, kind of ongoing, sort of see how things go, how much how long Sophia wants to run it, how much the cast wants to keep going. Really excited to how that works too, because I like how Tales from the Mists has the like rotating cast like that with like the two guests and the anchors. So I'm excited to see how that works. Or how that goes rather, and like changes and progresses. A totally different setting too. Like, yeah, see your version of it.
I'm probably gonna ask Sarah for help because they've run a Feywild adventure before.
Oh yeah,
That is valid.
it is.
Asking for help is valid, I feel.
Yeah.
Have you looked at any of the I'm actually a really big fan of the 4E Feywild books. The Heroes of the Feywild has like a lot of just kind of cool Feywild world like ideas stuff to like look from.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with it or are already using it, but
I saw you talking about it on Twitter, and
oh nice.
I bought it 15 minutes later.
Yes.
I have yet to read much from it, but it looks great.
I love it. I really wish 5e had more Feywild stuff that was
Me too.
like. I mean, it's cool that they have it, I guess, so open that people can just kind of do what they want. But it'd be nice to get some love and treat.
Yeah.
Give it some bones, some structure. Give it some, like the Feywild, some bones and structure and 50.
Yeah, definitely.
And also fairy tales.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like super big and heavy.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I love this thing, and I'm gonna take a lot of inspiration from like actual fairy tales.
That's really cool. I'm excited to see that. I love the like D&Dification of like fairy tales and stuff, but like with intent, because just D&D like creatures and stuff take a lot of things from folklore and fairy stories or characters that shape it.
But yeah, should we go to the next question?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I got like really wrapped up about that.
Yeah, me too.
But I did see Sanders Medusa asked if we have any thoughts of making audio only or podcast versions of streams or campaigns. We haven't talked about it too much, I guess. I would love to do that. I don't have much experience with like podcasting or audio work. So I see Aubrey over there getting like really excited about it.
Sorry. Yeah, I can't. I not necessarily about this. Sanders is just my girlfriend. Hi, baby. I love you.
Aww, hello. Hello. Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm the gay. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
That's something that I think I would be interested in specifically because my secret project is something that I was hoping to at least teach myself how to do that for, so that it could be audio available. That's because there aren't a lot of Monster of the Week podcasts available, and the ones that are there's Hell of the Match Tower, which was really good. There's Taz Embassy, which has mixed reviews. I like it, but it has mixed reviews. So I'm like, there should be another Monster of the Week podcast. I think that'd be cool. But also, I know that at least for me, I like to rewatch I'm in them, but I never remember what happens because I'm in it. So I like to rewatch the episodes, and I don't always have like a reliable way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'd love to have it like audio only, just like go back and listen to all the funny things that I said or the cool things that my party members did while I was being a buffoon, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's like the best part of streaming any actual play is being able to go back and actually relive those ridiculous moments that you try to describe to people, and you have to inevitably be like, you had to be there, and now they can
Yeah,
be
to be there.
through the
To be
magic of the internet. But I like the idea of doing some audio stuff, and I think that would help to maybe make it a bit more accessible anyway to people who necessarily have interest in or access to Twitch. Like you said, people like might be on not have a way to watch stuff necessarily. Just not to mention any of our visually impaired or blind fans or friends. Because I know podcasts also tend to have like a totally different narrative style. I don't listen to too much actual play podcasts. Recently I'm starting to more like I'm just
Yeah.
starting the Adventure Zone on.
It's so valid.
I'm like seriously like on episode 1 though, so no spoilers.
Okay, I will say this about listening to actual play podcasts. They definitely is like a different sort of narrative style. It's
Right.
like you have to really, really rely on using your words to tell what to paint the picture.
Okay.
And like it's because like you can't, like, for example, the like I know at least
Like
speaking
I
for me,
listen to
some of the
my brother and me, or at least I
Yeah.
used to. So I assume it's just
Yeah.
that, but D&D kind of.
Yeah, like thinking about it from the frame that I do, which is like I'm a comedian. I tell jokes. Like a lot of my like what makes my characters really funny, I feel, is physical comedy. So like, hello is funny, but like it's the way I lean in. Hello. But like if it were an audio only medium, that probably would not be nearly as funny as it is if it's just somebody saying hello. But like it's like, and also there's also aspects of like you can add in like music and things like that. Like you like really can like play around with sound as a way to create the story versus like here is a map. The map is what is there.
Right.
That's what we have. That's also that's one thing that's really awesome about Mustang's DM style is that because they're
Yes.
so descriptive
They're so
in
narrative.
when they it translates really well to like a podcast type situation because they're painting the picture with their words, so you don't have to be like, oh man, I wish there was a map. You can see it in your mind. It's like there.
I love
Or
that.
so you could follow it like a Bob Ross painting and make your own map.
Oh
if
man,
visualization
Sarah's
isn't your
the Bob Ross
jam.
of DMs, everybody. That's
I'm
canon
hoping
now.
that we can see that we said that because it's true.
It's so
I'm
true.
gonna
They
tweet it
are.
right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna tweet it right now
Please
so that they can
do.
see it when they wake up tomorrow.
Yes, this is official Mustang Appreciation Hour. I see Sophia say. It's true. We do appreciate Mustang too. I was talking with them a little bit about some of their DMing. I do know that they're planning to do actually some streams talking about like DMing and DM tips. And boo boo boo, I totally like brain farted on what I was about to say. Oh, and they're talking about how they make a point of trying to sort of hit and describe all of the, the different senses. Like in any scene description, and I think that goes a long way towards helping sort of establish that like really narrative feel, and then I'm sure would also translate really well to a podcast type, thing. So I'm definitely interested. Just if you wanna, I'll have to actually think to. I did not think to add audio stuff, podcasts and things like that to our game pitch application, which is also open now. We've got a lot of changes happening, folks, here at Heroes Without Limits. I'm actually gonna like add that question right now and then post the link here. But we do have Game Master applications. We're calling it Game Master, but it doesn't have to be for like D&D or anything like that. For any TTRPG system, if you want to do a one-shot, a mini campaign, a long-term campaign, or as of a couple of minutes from now when I make this change, a podcast or something, please let us know. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I do have an other box, but I'm gonna specifically add one now. Here we go. Podcast. No, that's the wrong question. I'll do this later! Anyway. Oh
You're
my-
valid.
Right? It's like I'm trying to do too many things here. It's a lot of things to juggle. And it's tough
Yeah.
when you're like also already like gated and have like brain fog. Yeah, inevitably, I'm sure I forgot to do something important. I definitely forgot. I'm not gonna lie, totally forgot to hit the record button for our off Twitch backup copy. Still like a couple of minutes. Sorry. Hopefully, we won't need it. But anyway, actually, speaking of just ways that more narrative descriptions can help to make streams and games a bit more accessible, just so that people can hear, visualize things better. What are some accessibility needs that you find that you have that would help make playing tabletop games either on stream or in person possible or more comfortable? Or what are some things that you wish more DMs or fellow players were maybe aware of? Like, for example, I need breaks a lot. If like any game is gonna run for longer than like 2.5, 3 hours, I need a break probably about every hour or so to like stretch and use the restroom and stuff. Just first example. Aubrey, you had a suggestion you were gonna say?
Yeah, I was seconding breaks. This is something that I'm always really bad about asking for because so the way my bones are set up, if I'm sitting down for longer than 2.5 hours, like I don't know what it is. It's like the joints get like crunchy kind of. And they start to hurt really, really bad. So I need to like get up and like limp around till I get feeling in my legs again and then sit back down. But because I get really lost in the sauce game wise, I always forget to ask about it. But breaks. Also, I have autism and ADHD. And so for me, that like means that like I need to like multi-track drifting kind of while I'm playing games. To clarify what that means, I need to have something else that I'm doing while I play. It seems a lot like I'm not paying attention, but it helps me like direct. It helps me like keep my like kind of like focus on what we're doing and like any other like excess energy or like impulse to like look like take my focus away from what I'm doing onto some like small like low energy minimal focus task. So like for example, one thing that I usually do is for example when we're on stream, I'll be on my phone just like refreshing my Twitter feed and not interacting with tweets, but just refreshing my Twitter feed, not looking at it because it's something that I can like occasionally like look at it like, okay, great, refresh my feed while we're playing so that I can like kind of try at least attempt to keep up with what's happening. Doesn't always work because my brain just but I do my best. Multi-track drifting, folks. Try it. It's
Multi-track
fun.
drift. I like it.
I should try that.
No, it's big mood. I don't call it multi-track drifting, but it's the same thing. I level tasks like D&D is a third level task, and I can do like I can have a maximum of 4 tasks going on at once, like number wise. So I like to pair it with a level 1 task, like playing with clay or doodling in my book or refreshing Twitter. So that's good. But also, Mecha Chacha in the chat said that not using color-dependent mechanics is like a thing that
Yeah.
benefit them, which is super cool.
That is a really good idea. Yeah, do you have anything that you find helps you?
No.
Oh no!
No.
What does that
Not that I
mean?
can think of at least, because I'm too new at trying to figure things out.
That's totally valid. I feel like
Definitely
yeah, okay, because like especially like even like I like it's just like and getting things being accessible like gaming capability especially is like I feel like kind of new. It's not new, but like it's kind of new. So like for example, like I mentioned, like I'm really bad at like asking for breaks. I've never like I've always had like the issues that I have, But, like, I'm still new to like remembering to even ask, like, hey, I need a break, or like even remembering to like think about, like, I should take a break. I feel my legs feel like they're gonna get up and walk off my body. I should maybe take a break. I'm just normally like, this is how it's supposed to be. If I get up now, I'm gonna ruin the game, which sucks.
Yeah, I definitely feel that because similarly, it's like if I sit for too long, I get just this weird antsiness and like pain in my legs and like my lower back where it's like my body is like, I need to move right now. And if I don't, they'll also get locked or like stuck. So I need to sort of like get up and walk around and stuff. I hate when I need to ask for a break when, like things in the game are like getting really juicy and I don't want to. But I do think it's helpful, at least if DMs try to establish like a sort of open table thing. On the stream here, people don't have to wait for a break to go and take one if we need to. People are allowed to, pop a BRB and chat so we know, and go use the restroom or get up and stretch. Or, I mean, I've definitely got to like go lie down for a moment when I like need to go. I think things like that are just really helpful. Like any, I see Miss Andrews says, it while they play D&D. Is that to help focus? Cause that's awesome. That's a great idea. Start knitting my game. Now I want a character who knits, and oh my god, I have an idea. So, that happened. Thank you.
Those kind of characters.
Seriously, that's actually another thing I'm curious about. How have any of you really tied your disabilities into characters before this campaign, or because I know for me actually this was kind of the first time that I decided to delve into that.
My first.
No, you go. You go first. You go first. Let's go. So you can go.
I'm gonna go if that's okay.
Yeah, go
my
for it.
first D&D character, I think I did it accidentally. She was a tiefling wizard, and she was really panicky and like really like task driven until she wasn't. And I feel like that's kind of like she'd be really focused on like, we're doing this now, and then like 2 minutes later it's like, what were we doing? Like, it was kind of all over the place. Or there was like a session where I forgot that she was a wizard, and like so like she forgot that she could do spells, and I feel like that's very like the scattered ADHD moment.
Yeah.
It creates like a lot of fun moments with like she had a lot of cool moments. She killed someone with a brick, which was really cool.
Oh, badass and intense.
Yeah. That's like Voitra is the first time that I was like, she can also be this way, like actively trying to do that.
That's awesome. Aubrey, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, similarly to Dar, like I've definitely incorporated like aspects of my various disabilities, mostly like not so much like physical disabilities, because those have kind of like more so like on set as I have aged, but like my neurodivergency and like mental illness and stuff. So like all of my characters tend to like their personalities tend to be, they're all like based on me, of course,
Right.
but they all like each of them tend to have like a certain aspect of their personality that's like borrowed from a symptom of one of the various mental illnesses I have, or like an aspect of my neurodivergency. But the last character I actually consciously tried to like design was a character who and it was like directly, it was like as like it's kind of like retroactively, because it was a character that I like started playing, and like she did a lot of stuff, and then like I stopped playing her. I haven't played her since, and I'm like, what's a narrative reason for why this character hasn't seen any action? It's because she's chronically ill and can't adventure anymore. That's it. That's the reason. She's too chronically ill to be an adventurer. So that's it. Her it's canon to her backstory that she has fibro, so she can't like go run around in the wilds and hunt, I don't know, goblins or whatever. So she because early on, like she came into her party came into a lot of money very early on in the campaign. So she just has a lot of money, but she doesn't do anything. So she like donates it to adventurers in need. She's like a charitable organization. She gives out
That's
money.
pretty great.
She's like, oh, are you an adventurer who's down on your luck? Oh, you're also gay? Here, take some money. That's what she does.
That's wonderful, and I
She
love
gives
her.
away money to gay adventurers.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. Pretty fantastic.
Thank you.
Sophia, what
Yes.
about you?
Well, I think the closest I come to having someone with like my problems is probably my first character, but I didn't design her to have that. It's just naturally evolved for her, which is very
I
sad.
think that's kind of like the cool thing with that happens, like with characters, is how they naturally evolve.
Yeah, it's just
Rough when it hits close to home, like.
I made it worse for her than it is for me. So maybe I should have a trigger warning for self-harm. It's just I didn't want her to do self-harm, but it was very much in character, I found. And I was like, oh no,
Right.
what have I done to my baby? And yeah, she a tiefling paladin named Joy, who
Oh, is this the one that you
feels
were
like
tweeting about?
yeah, she feels
I
like
love
she's lying to everyone when she is not joyful.
Oh,
Oh,
She has depression.
I don't know her, but I love her.
I know, I
I'll
love her
protect her
too.
with my life.
Must protect.
I love her so much, but I am the worst to her.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of a mood.
like I feel.
I think a lot of us are kind of terrible to our
Oh,
characters. Twilla was definitely the first character that I've made really with any of my conditions. Cause I mean, like I've got pretty bad anxiety and some other, mental health things that I'm working through, but nothing that I've really worked into characters before. And I always sort of felt like my physical stuff, like, would disqualify anybody from adventuring. And also, for a long time, I was playing D&D and TTRPGs very much to, like, escape from being sick and having to deal with that at all. And then, I just started thinking, like, we don't see any freaking disabled characters at all. And then I had been wanting to, like, try it out, and saw Sarah was putting this together, and I was like, this seems like a good... I'd had an idea for an arthritic barbarian who used their walking cane, like, was also just a big-ass axe. Really the big idea was, when I had, like, commented about how sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe Aubrey, you have a similar thing. Like, have you ever a friend where, like, you're having, like, a rough pain day or something, but something happens and you get, like, sort of an adrenaline rush, like, maybe, like, you knock something over and, like, a candle catches on fire. You've got to, like, put it out really quick. And you find you're, like, able to sort of do those things that, like, you definitely, like, should not or thought you could not do for, like, a really brief period of time. That's kind of, like, what raging is. Like, I don't know if that's something similar, with, because I don't know, I know works differently. Much.
For me, it's kind of like that. It's less so much a byproduct of like a physical thing. That's like kind of like my like predetermined trauma response is to just kind of like I become very efficient when I am under a lot of duress. It's helpful when I'm at work because I work in a very stressful retail / like cafe drink service environment.
Yeah.
So when there's a lot of customers, I get really stressed, and then I become the most efficient employee anyone has ever seen. But afterwards, when the customers leave, I have to sit down because I start blacking out. So it's not very iconic it's not very cash money, but it's just what
You
happens.
can get
to
through
me.
it. It's very similar.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I can push through for that short period, and then you're incapacitated for a couple of rounds, which is actually one of Twilla's mechanics after she rages. It just hasn't come up really like in game too much. But she is incapacitated for like a round after. But totally blanking out, or blanking out. Oh, I saw somebody, I think it was Misandress Medusa, was asking us all actually about our first D&D characters early. Does everybody remember your first like PC? You want to tell us about
How could I
them?
forget?
I already did.
How could I forget? How could I forget?
Oh, was Joy your
There's
first
many.
PC too? Oh, okay.
That's so valid.
Well, Aubrey, you got really excited about that. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about your
I
being.
have full transparency. I have 21 characters. 21.
Oh, wait.
My first one was a he is a half elf half elf multi-class paladin cleric. No, he's a monk cleric. Sorry, not paladin cleric. He's a monk cleric. The story behind him becoming a cleric is actually kind of whack. But he's about he's like probably the shortest half elf ever. Like he's like just barely pushing 5 feet tall. He's very petite. He's very petite. And he has probably the worst constitution ever. And so his skills include running in really, really fast, healing somebody, and then running away just as fast as he came in.
Wow.
He started out being a monk because it was my first D&D character, and I was really excited about monks. I thought they were really cool.
They're awesome.
I'm like, oh, they do like martial arts and stuff. It's so cool. And so that I was playing him for a while, and then I kind of like, not to be like but like I'm very like into like balancing the party and party composition. And we had 2 paladins in the party, but neither of them were very good at healing at all. And our one bard wasn't like didn't have any healing spells. So as soon as I was able to start multi-classing, I just multi-classed as the cleric. So I had a monk who was also a cleric of Lathander, the Morning Lord.
Yes! Praise the sun.
Praise be the
Wrong way.
Morning Lord.
There we go.
May his light shine upon you always. Love you, Lynn. Anyway, so I had him multi-class as a cleric, which is funny because he doesn't wear any armor. It's so funny because like it made sense in game, but like mechanically speaking, monks and clerics are kind of hard to balance because clerics are like wear a lot of armor and heal people, and monks are like wear no armor and get in there like swimwear. But it didn't really match up because Constitution was terrible. It was kind of hard to play him, but I loved him very much. Also, he is married to a character that has fibro. They're married.
Aww.
They're married. I have a whole elaborate like world where all of my D&D characters are OCs. They live there. It's a whole thing.
That sounds
I have a lot of
beautiful.
free time.
Tell us about your first baby.
Well, I kind of did already, but her name was Zenolin, and she was a tiefling wizard and absolute disaster everywhere she went. I think she only made it to level 3, but she was a divination wizard, and she had like great charisma, but she was so bad at talking with literally anyone. And I had terrible dexterity because I didn't know that was really important to being a wizard. So her armor class was really low. And she was infatuated with the moon goddess Selene because like her grandpa was a cleric of Selene or whatever. I just wanted to have religion because I was like, that's a thing I don't have in real life. Let's
I'm very
pretend.
similar.
I love
the
the
clerics.
moon.
The moon. I'm just in love with it. And so, like I said, there was a time where she just didn't cast spells, and we were attacking it's like a weird cult, and there was just one cultist left, and I was like, I don't have spells. What can I hit her with? And my DM, who was my brother, was like, I don't know, there's a brick. And I rolled a nat 20 and I killed her with the brick.
Oh my god.
It became a holy item that she just carried around that was blessed by Saloon. That like she had a weird relationship with because she didn't want to carry it around. She couldn't get rid of it. I don't know.
That's
I
amazing.
love her. She's
I
such a
love it.
disaster.
That's wonderful. I really love it. Oh my god. I love Holy Brick.
Just a holy. I want to bring her back, but I don't. I like keep coming up with D&D characters, and I'm like, I have no campaign to play. I have no time to play. And I was really tempted for Heroes Without Limits to revamp her for this, but then I was like, I want to play Warlock.
Warlocks are fun too.
Yeah.
They really are. I wish I could make my spells work though.
Oh, one day.
I'm trying to help.
I know you're doing a great job. I feel like maybe I try to get a new patron.
A new what?
A new patron.
The
Oh,
Raven Queen is hiring.
yes, always hiring.
Always.
Honestly,
Oh my god, now I'm thinking of just a new patron.
The Raven
Acquisitions
Queen is
Incorporated.
hiring. Right, new patron. Okay, there you go.
there you go.
I love the Raven Queen. My first character was a ranger who worships the Raven Queen. I don't remember too much about her because it was like a 4E character back in college, and she was just like a mess because that game was a mess. It was like a one-shot. Someone was like, "Let's play D&D," and it was all really last minute. And she just was like such a typical like murder hobo of a character, but I loved her. Yeah, Wood Elf Ranger, classic, like, first D&D character, I guess. But my first, like, intentional character was a halfling, trickery cleric of Avandra, and I loved her a lot. She was a ton of fun. Her parents, or her family owned an apiary and meadery, so she just went around, like, harshly judging every place's mead that they had. And like would like write letters back home. Like she had a pretty wholesome like backstory for the most part. Like there's a little like sadness that got her kind of to find Avandra. But like her parents and stuff were like both alive. Very rare for D&D, I know. I heard somebody once say that parents is the most dangerous Dungeons and Dragons class.
Same energy. Like being a mom in an anime is the most dangerous thing you could do.
Only if you have that hair, that little pony.
Ponytail.
I had the side pony when I was a couple of years ago when I was like I had just turned 18. My hair was still long, so I wore the side pony.
Nice.
It says a lot about myself. I think that I was like, yes, this hairstyle. The side pony that every anime mom that gets murdered has. This is the style for me. It said a lot about me, I think, but also it was
says
very
good
good.
things.
Yeah.
Nothing but good things.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's a bit after 10 now, and I know that we're all running a little bit low on spell slots, so I think this is probably a good place to wrap things up. It has been really nice to get to sort of hang out and chat with everybody and get to hear some more about your characters and, your own conditions and such. So thank you so much to everybody for sharing that, especially on stream. Kind of scary. Talking about all of your experiences. Thank you to Chat for all of your wonderful questions, coming to hang out with us.
Yes.
Make sure to come and join us on Thursday for our premiere of Heroes Sheets, hosted by the lovely Dar. I will be guesting. You'll be able to hear me talk in more depth about my stuff. I try not to say go to because of things on Thursday. So please come hang out with us for that. You'll have a chance to win some dice if you join us live. Make sure to follow us here on Twitch also for, once again, a chance to win some beautiful dice by Tabletop Loot. Make sure to check out our Twitter, at HWithoutLimits. for links to apply for Sophia's amazing Twilight Grove, her original Feywild campaign. I'm super excited for that. And also, if you're interested in applying to run any games for us, I did slip the little thing about a podcast in there, so it was actually an open-ended question anyway. But now it's there to plant the seed of the idea for. So please feel free to apply. Our applications for Twilight Grove will be closing Thursday, October 3rd. However, applications for game pitches will be left open for the foreseeable future, at least on a rolling basis. Just, make sure when you try to pitch something, when you pick a start date, leave us enough time to actually put everything together. Otherwise, we will also be back next Saturday with our illustrious DM Mustang as they take us through Cragmaw Castle, I think. Or no, we're gonna finish battling a giant owlbear. Owlbear battle, but it's all corrupted and stuff by like weird, scary, evil Feywild maybe magic.
Next episode, the gang fights an owlbear and Hollywood has a breakdown. Come check it out.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Wait, I have a thing. Before we go, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
If, like I said earlier at the very beginning, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com.co.us, and then all the other stuff, twitter.com, at Paladin Lesbian. It's my pinned tweet right now. I'm trying to do some research for a maybe secret project about Monster of the Week. I need to know historical settings and geographical settings that people think would be really cool, fun, funky, and fresh to have as a backdrop for a monster hunting adventure. I will say I've been looking at the suggestions I got so far. They're really exciting. One thing for me that's also really important is thinking about like what it was like when I was just looking at the historical settings, what life was like for people of color at the time. Because as some of you may not know, hi, I'm a Black person. Hello. And what's really important to me on thinking about settings is also like being able to play someone who is not white. It's in D&D it's a little different because it's like elves and stuff, but like in Monster of the Week you could play like human people. And so like one thing I like to think about is like, okay, if we're gonna do, for example, the 1800s, a lot of stuff was happening at that time. So I guess that's something I encourage folks when they're leaving suggestions to try and keep in mind, just because it's something that's really important to me to see because if this does go anywhere, I'd like I'd like anybody who plays in my setting to like feel comfortable playing as themselves if they identify people of color, not with the knowledge that it's not like racism, and like I cannot have that, but also like I don't know. I just like to think about that, I guess. But yeah, leave me suggestions, please. I need ideas. I'm really bad at coming up with things by myself. I need help. Thank you.
Yes. So
We all need help.
That is at Paladin. Is it _lesbian or I think it's underscore, right?
I'm pretty sure it's. I can.
I'm like I think I checked before I wrote it down, but I might have done it wrong. It is okay. So at Paladin,
Paladin _ lesbian. I'm at whoever has the Twitter name at Paladin Lesbian, no underscore. Sorry about all the people hopping in your DMs with Monster of the Week suggestions.
Or you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Again, at Paladin _ lesbian on twitter.com. It's my pinned tweet. Please reply with your cool ideas for Monster of the Week settings, so that I can start writing. Because I like to write out, or at least like flesh out my settings a little bit before I like move forward with them. So I want to really kind of get an idea of like, okay, what is the setting before I like maybe submit a game request. I don't know. We'll find out.
Gothic horror.
Help her out.
Help me out.
Does anybody else have anything that you would like to promote before we get going?
Yeah, I would again hitting on hero sheets. The 26th, this Thursday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Send me questions. No one has sent me a single question that they want Sam to be asked. You can do it via our Discord. You can DM me on Twitter or like just at me on Twitter. Here's a question. I have a list of questions just in case, but I know the people have questions for you, Sam. I
Ask
want to.
me things. I talk about everything, pretty much, honestly. Like, legit, I don't know. Yeah, ask me anything. I'll tell you, no shame. Ask me anything for realsies.
I'm bad at asking questions beforehand, so.
We believe in you. Awesome. And I guess for me, I've always got just a bunch of just streams and things happening. Make sure to check out here in October because I'm going to be running Death House. It's going to be happening here Tuesdays, on odd Tuesdays in October. So it's going to be October 1st, 15th, and 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Pretty excited about that. Otherwise, you can see me on Mondays at Encounter Roleplays Twitch, where I play in a Ravnica Set 5e game. You can see me every other Wednesday over at the Chromatic Chimera for Agora's Bells, which is a homebrew 5e game, and that's a ton of fun. On Fridays, you can see me at Variant Roles in Courts of the Shadowfae, which is so much fun. I am playing a Bearfolk Druid, and they are ridiculous. I love them. Yeah, it's a Midgard set game, which I've never played before. I've never played like any Kobold Press materials, so I'm really enjoying that. That's over.
Kobold Press is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. That's over at Variant Roles, who are a bunch of good beans, so give them some love. And I think that's all I've got going on, like, right now. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know. Follow me on Twitter, samwise_GameG, and whatever I forgot will come up. Okay, so we will be live again on Thursday for the premiere of Heroes Sheets. Join us then. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you again so much, everybody, for coming to join us. We're gonna let you all get back to your Saturday evenings. I hope you all had a lovely short rest and everybody was able to recuperate some spell slots and hanging out. So...
Well, it was an hour, so.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you again so much.